Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. Welcome to my April TBR. Minnie, after getting a taste of fame on Tuesday's video, is just loitering around here, but I've got tights on and if I pick her up, she will probably claw my tights and that'll be the end of my tights, so no Minnie today. So, I've got a selection of books here to show you that I'm planning on reading in the month of April, and I'm very, very excited about quite a lot of them. Quite a range here. Minnie, you are being cheeky, she's over there. I thought I'd start with, so I'm gradually working my way through the women's long list, the women's prize long list. I'm not going to read all of them. I did a video on my reaction to the women's prize long list. I'll link that down below, and within that video I selected I can't remember, I feel like it was about half of the books that I wanted to read. Now I've been gradually working my way through some of those. These are the books that I've read this month. Spoiler, they'll be in a wrap up shortly. But I'm still requesting some from the library and things like that. So at the moment, and I've been really enjoying it actually. I've been putting it on a poll on Twitter for you guys to vote on what I read next, which is cool because I still get like some say in what I'm reading because I'm putting out the ones that I want to read, but then you guys are picking what I'm going to be reading next, and I've been very much enjoying it. At the moment, the three on the poll, at the moment I'm filming this on Tuesday, is the Ministry of Utmost Happiness. Oh god, sorry, there's a massive light there and this is a library book, so shiny. That's by Aaron Darcy Roy. Home Fire by Camilla Shamsi, which isn't actually one I was planning on reading the first time, but so many people said to me it was really, really enjoyable. And the one that's winning at the moment is The Trick to Time by Kit DeWall, which I've wanted to read for ages, so I'm quite pleased this is winning. But throughout April, I'm still going to be, at the moment I'm doing it like read one book, then read one of the women's prize long list, read one book, then read one of the women's prize long list, so sort of like chopping and changing. And I'm going to be continuing to do that. I've reserved quite a few more from the library. See What I've Done, that's one. Manhattan Beach, and another one, but I can't remember what the other one was. And they're sort of coming into the library slowly. So yeah, I will still be reading those. But apart from that, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 other books that I'll be hopefully getting to in the month of April. My plan was in March to sort of slow down a bit. This is all fodder for my yeah, wrap up. But I read loads in March, like probably the most I've ever read. And I thought, oh well, in April I'll slow down. But then as I was picking books off my shelf that I wanted to read, there was just 10 plus the women's prize long list. There's just loads. The first one I've got is the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver, which I know was on my TBR last month. Mercedes and I have been saying we're going to buddy read this. I've just this second sent Mercedes a message saying, can we buddy read this on Easter weekend? So I've just seen in her what she's got planned to read next, that she's going to be reading this. So I think I'll probably start this weekend on Easter weekend. I've been meaning to read this for a long, long time, and literally everyone says it's amazing. So it's told by the wife and 4 daughters of Nathan Price, a fierce evangelical Baptist who takes his family and mission to the Belgian Congo in 1959. This is the story of one family's tragic undoing and the remarkable reconstruction over the course of 3 decades in post-colonial Africa. So yeah, must be reading that. Oh, I haven't got anywhere to put anything. There we go. The next one is a Daphne du Maurier book, because I've only read one Daphne du Maurier book this year, and I need to read more. I read The Breaking Point earlier this year, which is a collection of short stories, and this is The Scapegoat, and this is about 2 men, one's English and one's French, and they meet by chance at a railway station, and they look exactly like each other. They spend the night drinking and having a laugh together, and then in the morning, John, the English chap, I believe, yeah, he wakes up and realises that his French companion stolen his identity. So John steps into the Frenchman's shoes, and yeah, and then everything happens after that. So yeah, I need to read some Daphne du Maurier. I've been really wanted to read more, so I'm definitely going to be picking this up. The next one is a proof that I've just mentioned in my book haul. That's The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. Sandy, making that longer than it needed to be. As I showed you in my haul video, this is done like a video for a wedding. This is called The Other Woman, and this is about a woman who's getting married to a chap who has a very overbearing mother. So her mother-in-law is going to be quite troublesome. When I was reading it, it was really reminding me, this is again mentioning what I've said in my haul, of The Little House by Philippa Gregory, which is about a woman who has problems with her mother-in-law. And I really enjoyed that. We read that in my book club at work, and we had so many good chats about it, because there's just so much to relate to. Like everyone's got a mother or a mother-in-law, or has had or is a mother or a mother-in-law. So yeah, I feel like there's quite a lot to relate to in that, so I'm looking forward to getting to that. And I read Let Me Lie this month by Claire McIntosh, and really enjoyed it. I hadn't read a thriller in a really long time. I've got a feeling I've only read 2 thrillers this year anyway, and one was The Chalkman, and I fucking hated that. So yeah, looking forward to getting into a bit more of a thriller. I just find them like really page-turnery and exciting. The next 2 are library books. The first one is Moonrise by Sarah Crossan. I've featured this in my books on my shelves from Irish authors. Sarah Crossan writes in verse, and I've heard that this one's really great. It's about a chap called Joe whose brother Ed is on death row, and I loved one. I loved one. It was one of my favourite books that I read last year. And in fact, the year before, I've read it 2 years in a row now. And I've been really keen to read some more Sarah Crossan. I love this front cover as well, look at that. Little moon. You can't see my face through that, but there's a little moon. So yeah, very much excited to read that. And that's a really fast read, like they don't take me long to read at all. The next one is one that was doing its not its rounds, but I remember seeing it on Mercedes and maybe somebody else's channel like a couple of years ago. And that's The Fair Fight by Anna Freeman. Again, sorry about this massive light here. And this is about female wrestlers. I'm not quite sure, it's historical fiction, and it's about Ruth. So here it says, born into a brothel, Ruth's future looks bleak until she catches the eye of Mr. Dreyer, a rich Bristol merchant and enthusiast of the ring. He trains gutsy Ruth as a pugilist. Soon she rules the blood-spattered sawdust at the infamous Hatchet Inn. Dreyer's wife Charlotte lives in the shadows. A grieving orphan, she hides away, scarred by smallpox, ignored by Dreyer, and engaged in dangerous mind games with her brother. And it's all about women's fighting. So it says it takes you from a filthy brothel to the finest houses in town, from the world of street fighters to the world of champions. Alive with the smells and the sounds of the streets, it is raucous, intoxicating tale of courage, reinvention, and fighting your way to the top. And I feel like that sounds amazing. So yeah, I would definitely, I've hired that. We were talking about it when Mercedes and I were visiting Simon for his wedding. We were talking about it then because I saw it on one of Simon's shelves, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll definitely read that. And also it says here at the top, Sarah Walters says, hugely exciting. I loved it. So hopefully I'll find it as hugely and exciting, and I'll love it as much as Sarah Walters did. The next one is also a book I got from Simon. When I was up visiting Simon in January, every time I go, although when I went to visit him for his wedding, I didn't take any books back. I couldn't believe it. And he gave me quite a lot of these translated fictions that are published by World Editions. Oh, they're really nice. Look, they've got like these like curved corners, and I've got quite a lot of these on my shelf, and I haven't read any of them yet. And I thought, well, I actually I'm so sorry, I've got this stupid tickle. I actually haven't read any translated fiction at all this year, so I thought, well, I will start by looking at these ones that I've got here. So this is translated by Dutch, and it's about a relationship between a woman, Coco, and her mother. It's sort of, they've always had an uneasy relationship, but then they bump into one another, and it turns out that Coco's mother is terminally ill, so Coco decides that she will look after her mother, and their relationship sort of is highlighted how they don't get on and why they don't get on. And yeah, so I just thought it would be quite interesting. I like reading about relationships and things. I'm not a big like mother-daughter relationship person, but I just thought this was out of all of them, this is like one of the thinnest ones. And yeah, I just thought I'd make a start on it. So yeah, that's Craving by Esther Gerritsen. Then I bought this when I was on the last BookTube, it might even have been the BookTube, I think it was the BookTube meetup before, so I think I bought this like over a year ago, and when I bought it, it really, the storyline really captured my attention. I was like, oh, I'm going to really like that. It sounds a bit Black Mirror-y, but this is The Possessions by Sarah Flannery Murphy, and it says here, for 5 years, Edie has worked for the Elysian Society, a secretive organisation that provides a very specialised service. Its clients come to reconnect with their dead loved ones by channeling them through living bodies. Edie is one such body, perhaps the best in the team, renowned for her professionalism and discretion. Excretion. But everything changes when Patrick, a distraught husband, comes to look for traces of his drowned wife in Edie. The more time that Edie spends as the glamorous, enigmatic Sylvia, the closer she comes to falling in love with Patrick, and the more mysterious the circumstances around Sylvia's death appear. As Edie falls under Sylvia's spell, she must discover not only the couple's darkest secrets, but her own long-buried memories and desires before it's too late. So yeah, it sounds like, I'm actually certain there is a Black Mirror episode that is like that, so I don't know which was based on which, but yeah, I've been meaning to read this for a long time, and I thought that this month might be the best time. And then then this one I've just featured on my book haul as well. That's The Gloaming by Kirsty Logan. Absolutely beautiful cover. Really, really gorgeous. And so this is about Mara, who's living it just says here, Mara's island is one of stories and magic, but every story ends the same way. She'll finish her days on the cliff, turned to stone and gazing out at the horizon like all the islanders before her. I read The Gracekeepers a few years ago and really, really loved it. And this is just absolutely beautiful. So very much looking forward to getting to that as well. And then the next one, I don't know what book I'm reading. I'm off work for a week this week, which is lovely. I had some annual leave to use up, so I've just been like filming and reading and just having a lovely time. But I can't remember what I'm reading in my next work book club, but my online book club, we're reading Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney, which is about 4 friends, Francis, Bobby, Nick and Melissa, and you find out all about their relationships in terms of sex, friendship, art, literature, politics, gender and one another. And Frances is the character at the heart of this tale, and she's having an affair. Oh god, I'm dropping. I don't want to knock the camera. I got sent this from the publisher, and I got some cool little stickers and a little thing like this, so this is cool. So yeah, looking forward to reading this. And actually I think the paperback of this has just come out, so it's really like at the forefront of my mind at the moment. Quite a lot of the advertisement videos have been ahead on some of the videos that I've been watching, so I've been seeing this around quite a lot. And then the last book that I'm going to read, I haven't read any Harry Potter for a while, and I thought I would start again with the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone illustrated edition. Last year in October, David's mum bought me Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Haven't even looked through it, because part of the joy of these, I really try not to flick through these, because part of the joy of these is like seeing it for the first time. So if we just go, this is the first page, The Boy Who Lived, it's got the Dursleys and things like that, and I really have tried not to look. So I think I'm going to start reading one of these a month, which I believe will take me up to October, November, which will work out well, because in December I normally read Christmas books anyway. So yeah, so I'm going to start reading one of these a month. So this will probably be my bedtime book, because these don't travel well, and yeah, so I will read these in bed, a chapter a night maybe, and just have a lovely time. So those are the books that I'm planning on reading in the month of April. What are you guys planning on reading in the month of April? Have you read any of these books, and are you looking forward to a good old month of reading? I really am. We're slowly getting into spring, so I need to start finding like spring books and summery books and things like that, because I do enjoy a bit of seasonal reading. But that's it from me today, and I hope you're all wonderful and having a lovely day, and I will see you all again soon for another booktube video.